right, well there's John. Hey John.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Doing a quick little
sleep, getting ready to get shuttled right out today.
Yep, we're gonna go hike from Punchbowl back up here to Waynesboro. We're at Stanimals, and I'll just do a quick little video tour for you here. This is the main living area. Have a great little dining room where we had breakfast this morning. Kitchen with everything you need. Pantry, coffee. Racks outside, hiker fridge. And we actually stayed upstairs. Had a nice little room up there. 2 full beds in it, worked out perfectly. And we had a bathtub, and I hope when we get back at the end of the week we get the same room so I can soak in that bathtub. It would be pretty awesome. Soak my weary bones. Yeah. John and Adam just pulled up. They dropped his car off the store for the week. And we are ready to roll. Alright, Adam just dropped us here at Punchbowl Overlook, which is where I left off back a couple months ago. And we are going to head north. Trail goes that way. And in a few days we'll be back in Waynesboro. Okay, I have a confession to make. For the first time in my life, I started heading the wrong direction on the trail and took John on a little southbound tour of a nice uphill warm-up climb. We got about 0.2 from the trailhead, and I'm like, something is not right here. I stopped and looked at gut hooks and realized I was dragging him the wrong way. So, shame on me, but we have righted the situation, and we are now going north through these kind of gnarly woods. It's raining a bit, and we stopped and put on pack covers and rain gear because it's still low, I think probably high 40s, low 50s, and didn't want to get too wet and cold too early in the hike. So since we only have 9 miles today, we can definitely take our time and stop as needed to put things on and off or just enjoy the view. We're going to be crossing a dam and a bridge over now down near Reservoir Road, which when I was here before we stopped and actually saw a river otter, which was really cool. So we're going to take our time and just really enjoy the hike today. Look who I ran into today. It's too many. You guys might remember the video I did with him and his work in the veterans, and he's hiking for Christopher Morrow today. So send him your good wishes and help him get through the trail and do well and do good for all the folks that he's serving. So anything to say?
Thank you, Joy. I appreciate your support and your prayers and everything that you do for our vets. And so just if you can, go to www.operationcreekside.org and donate if you can. And if you can't, you know, 2 months from now, we're still going to have needs for our vets. So we appreciate you and love you, and God bless America and all that keep her free.
That's great, and good luck on your hike.
Thank you.
John and I just had a nice lunch here right down below the suspension bridge at Reservoir Road. And this is where I saw the otter before last summer. The water looks pretty murky today, so I don't think we're going to be so lucky, but we're going to check things out, see what we see.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
That's the dam that makes the reservoir that gives Reservoir Road its name, which is the road we crossed right before we stopped at the bridge for lunch. It's pretty peaceful and quiet though. We just came through a big blowdown right up there, up that way. Lots of leaves and branches, and we made our way through and then found this trickle of a stream. And John needed some water, so he's down there reaching under a log to get the water he needs and fill up. I think this water source is listed as Cascades and Gut Hook. Maybe not. They said to be careful climbing up to get water, but there's plenty of water right here, so you could actually just stop right as you cross the trail there and grab some to fill up. A little pretty little creek here. And of course we get to cross. Taking a picture, you taking a picture of me! Just came up on this sign. Not sure where that's going to lead us. I don't know if it's talking about the bridge that's near the shelter or a different bridge. So there's one way to find out. Well, we're cruising down the trail relocation and found another big blowdown. So we'll have to navigate our way around this one. It looks like maybe people have gone up the side there, up the hill and over. So, boy, that's a big tree. Look at where the roots are way up there. Two
Took
big
one.
trees. One took out another one.
Yeah, look, that one took one with him.
I think this is storm damage from one of the hurricanes. I'm not sure, but we're gonna head up the hill a little ways and see if we can get around it. You made it.
You made it.
John went up and over up there and came down, and you can see the mud is pretty slick, and it was pretty slick on the other side. So I opted to take my pack off, and I crawled under there on my hands and knees and slid my pack off behind me, and we both escaped unscathed.
Yeah.
So onward. We're walking alongside the creek now, and you can see several trees down across the creek, and I'm sure that that's probably what took out a bridge. There's a pretty big one right down there going right across, and then of course there's more here. So I don't know what storm they had, but it was a big one. You all know what that sign means. The trail turns, and it turns to the creek here where we're supposed to cross, and it doesn't really look great. So we're debating taking off shoes, fording. So now we're gonna figure it out. All right, after surveying our options, we thought about we thought about going on that, just this side of that log, but we actually came across this log, and we both made it without falling in, which is pretty damn good. And just after crossing the creek, we came across this bench and a little sign about the Brown Mountain Creek community, which was established by former slaves back in the early 1900s, and apparently in the next mile and a half or so of trail, we'll probably see some remnants of foundations and other things from the community that's no longer here. This little bridge across Brown Creek goes up to the shelter, and I think that's we'll be up there. We haven't been up there to check things out yet, but we got our tents all set up, and we're gonna take a little walk up to the shelter, read the register, and come back and make dinner. Just hanging out. Had a short day, very nice day, really lovely trail, really enjoyed it, and we are ready to roll. Well, here's the little shelter. Thru-Hike says it only sleeps 6. It's pretty dark and tiny, so I'm kind of glad we're going to be in our tents. He's an ant. He can. The Dorito is almost as big as he is, and he's like jumping and falling with it. He's like, I got a trophy to take home! Look at this! Go, ant, go! Oh, over the log!
We did that a few times, didn't we?
Yeah, just like us. Now, where's he going? Where's Hollow? Look at that!
Wow.
Good job, you going backwards, dude! Doing the turn. Bravo, little ant. I'm all packed up and ready to go for day 2 of our hike through Virginia, doing my 66-mile makeup from Punchbowl Overlook to Waynesboro, and we had a real nice night here by the creek. It did rain on us a lot, and unfortunately I'm still having some problems with water seeping up to the bottom of my tent, so I'm definitely going to have to get Nemo to look at that when I get back. Our ambitious plan for the day is to do 15.7 miles and camp. Shorter plan would be 11.1, I think. And either one would be just fine, and we might even be able to stop somewhere in between depending on how we feel. We do start the day with a really big climb. It's 4.4 miles, and we're going to go up just over 3,000 feet in elevation, so it's going to be pretty steep. We're going to take it slow, see how it goes, and then after that the rest of the day should be pretty good. A little bit up and down, but nothing major, so we're going to just head out in a little bit, get a little bit later start than I'd hoped, but it's still just after 8, so we've got plenty of time. And we'll see how we feel and make decisions based on that. We're working our way up the hill towards Bald Knob. We've been hiking not quite an hour, and it is so quiet and peaceful here in the forest. It's amazing. We've left the creek behind, but I can still hear some down there a ways down the hill. And with the fog, it just keeps everything silent. It's like a blanket laying over the whole forest. And really, the only things I can hear are me and John hiking, and occasionally a train or a plane in the distance. I said all I could hear was me and John hiking, and then I hear the sound of a truck and a woodpecker and another bird. It is pretty peaceful though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice out here.
If you can read that sign over there in the fog, we're at the Long Mountain Wayside, and the sun is up there. It is trying to peek out, which is nice. I'm hoping it'll come out and dry things. We found a nice little picnic table here. Gonna take a quick little break. I think I'm gonna eat second breakfast. And we actually just passed another couple of Sobo hikers, one of who was Van Gogh, who was northbound a while back, and I met him. I can't remember where, but kind of neat to bump into people that you have met before. We're a little more than halfway up Bald Knob, and there aren't any real clear views. They're all obstructed by trees, but pretty neat looking down and seeing the clouds below us and the mountains sticking up above them. All right, I was hoping I was nearing the summit right up there, but I'm not. It's still got another mile to go. That's typically till you think you're there, and you're not. But I don't know if you can see this tree right there. You can actually see straight through the tree. All right, this is the summit of Bald Knob, I guess it is. Not much to see here, but this is a nice little stealth campsite that will work pretty good for a lunch spot. So that's what I'm gonna do, is just sit and eat some lunch and keep watching for John, who should be coming up over there not too far behind me. He did have on a bright hat that made it easy to find him, but he took it off. So now I can't see him, but hopefully he's not too far behind. You know that coming from Florida where everything's flat, climbing up 3,000 feet on tenuous trail legs is not an easy thing to do, so he's holding up really well. Alright, well, Bald Knob didn't have any views and it wasn't very bald, but we just came up to the top of Coal Mountain, and it is bald. This is the trail down from Coal Mountain, and it's really pretty green, and the views are just amazing. I can imagine how stunning they must be on a clear day, but today with all the clouds, they're so blue. It gives the Blue Ridge Mountains their name, I suppose. And we've just got a little bit of easy walking here. Have to go down to the gap and get some water, which is 0.3 off the trail, but unfortunately not a lot of other choices for water, and we need some, so that's where we're headed for our next stop. Look what I found. It's a very fuzzy caterpillar. Guess he's just cruising around looking for lunch, probably.